Staying maybe just a little bit as Will is going to come through, but Ming is in position, but Vista's here as well. Facebreaker is decent there from Ming, but First Blood's still going to go down over to Harmwell Life, and immediately it's answered as Chovy falls down. Ming now down to 300, not going to have another haymaker, and that is going to be another kill to come through from Willa, who was cosplaying as Twisted Fate. And now, still fighting. The flash forward from Wei takes a turret shot as Vista's looking for a deft. Turns up now as the stun comes in onto Gala. He's going to satchel his way out, and I think maybe that now the action's over.
Makes hours. Chovy gets caught.
Yeah, speaking of difficulties, Chovy just going to get burst down. Wade picks up that kill so that he could safeguard out, and Morgan's actually going to be able to find the hook shot to kick back onto Willa to get him out of here. And now Morgan has to deal with 3 ways very low, but he's still alive for the moment. Is now Chovy going to use that stolen kick to try and get some work done, but immediately he's going to get taken down. It's a double kill now for Xiaohu, as Will is desperately trying to find it, and there's the Heartbreaker finally coming in, and Cryan is now behind enemy lines. Ming's in trouble on the bottom side as well, but does get a double face breaker as Gala's trying to rain those bombs from over the wall. Deft doesn't have the ulti, but will have one more auto attack as he flashes on forward. The Q's going to be there as Solar Flare comes through from Vista. He's got 100 health, but he does not care, and the Ziggs will get taken down, and he's unable to answer. Willa, speaking of Xiaohu could be in trouble as Cryan's going to turn up. Willa immediately tries to ult his way out. There's the flash as well, and it is going to be Wei that shuts down the Viego. But now, Chovy comes on in there, finds himself the showstopper. Now he's underneath the turret. Wildcards will go wide, and it's a 1-for-1 in the end.
Not even been that bad. Doesn't work against RNG as the teleport comes in.
Yeah, Morgan's coming back. Let's see what they can do here as Willa slinks into the mist. Vista's turning up as well. He's got the ultimate at the ready. As Deft is on the bottom side. Solar Flare will connect though. And there's the Everfrost as well. Hummerlight piling on in. Cryan's already going to get taken down, but they're underneath the turret. And Chovy is immediately going to get taken down. Heartbreaker gets Willa out of there. In the end, it is just a 1-for-1 as both mid laners go down. Whenever they want to as well. You press Destiny, you decide whether the players are on parts of the map that you want them to be. As there's a kick flash from Wei, finds himself to Q as well, as now Chovy. Yeah, I don't think Wei wants to fight him underneath the turret. Of course, Kingslayer is still pretty strong.
He's got the
trying to get out of here, yeah. Showstopper still available. There it is, as Chovy doesn't have that Kingslayer back available. Hanwha, they are looking for Shirley. They should. Oh, well, it's not happening. This is going to get tagged up. Now going to flash on forward. Finds the Zenith Blade into the backline. As now Morgan dives on in. Cryan's in a bit of trouble as now Ming finds himself on the front line. Mega Inferno Bomb, not a lot of value, but the Camille will still fall. And RNG, they find their pick, and Hanwha Life Esports unable to continue forward.
I mean, you've closed the gap for Hanwha Life Esports so strong.
Yeah, it's so hard playing a dive comp into a Ziggs as well as Wei. Taking a fair bit of damage here. There's a Destiny from Cryan, though, to immediately come through and save the day. Mega in front of him, speaking of which, that is just going to obliterate Vista. And there's the kick flash onto Morgan. He's going to die as an afterthought as Willa going to flash his way out. Wei immediately following, though, had that resonating strike already coming through. Now Willa has to try and get out. Doesn't have flash or Heartbreaker, but RNG not going to be able to catch up to him. They'll have to just settle for 2 kills, and seems pretty good to me.
And that's a familiar sight for Hanwha Life fans. Chovy's off in the side and does have teleport, but because the play is basically already lost by the point that it would...
Going to use those chains to get himself out. Vista just soaking the Mega Inferno Bomb. Some chains coming through here as now Vista dives on in. The teleport is channeled as Ming finds the engage, but there's no follow-up here from RNG as Wei finally will find his way in there. But Deft is just free hitting from the backline. Wei could be in trouble. That is going to be a Q going to Narnia as now Cryan running away. Does have some wild cards he's going to throw out in Hanwha. They're just going to grab a couple of picks and now look for a potential Baron.
I mean, this is not the way you want to fight with this team fight composition that RNG have. You're once again walking kind of base first into Hanwha Life Esports. That is where the composition is going to excel. Use your range advantage, poke at them, use that Ziggs. Don't just walk straight in. Now we're at a stage where Hanwha Life Esports can rush this Baron down so easily here, and they're going to be the first ones to take it. And suddenly, this is anyone's game to take. Morgan still has a flank angle here, but he's spotted.
They know he's there. They know he's there. They saw him walk up. The pings are already going down.
Yeah, the Destiny comes on in there as Deft flies on forward, looks for Gala, but he flashes himself out. Deft goes golden. Now Xiaohu is in trouble. Immediately the pylon comes on in. Deft gets over the wall as now Willa trying to keep himself alive, but he's not going to be able to. Chovy surviving in amongst 4, but that ain't going to last for very long. As now Deft looking to burst down the Drake, and he does it. But can they actually survive in this game? I mean, I guess they managed to get a pick onto Xiaohu, who's a lot of the damage.
Play it slower, play it a little bit back, and with the amount of damage with the items you have right now, it's up to Hanwha again to make a play, and they're going for it.
Yeah, Morgan looking for that flanking teleport. Who's he going to ulti as Vista flashes, grabs the solar flare, and in comes immediately out of nowhere Morgan. And he's going to be able to go down to his GA, keeps himself alive. That is 2 kills now for Chovy. Can he save this KDA is the real question. As now Hanwha chasing after the remaining 3 members of RNG. Vista not quite sure which way he wants to go, and Deft isn't going to be able to catch up. So they are going to be able to leave. Deft does so much damage. It's at 3,000 health, and RNG aren't going to be able to take it. That's going to be secured by Deft of all people. A great face breaker, but Ming, again, no follow-up whatsoever as now Xiaohu gets himself in there. Going to be able to grab the Camille, who didn't have that GA as you knew. And Wei now finding that pick-off. As it's unfortunately the Viego that is going to go down. No resets this time around as the chains are flying around, but it's always a numbers advantage here for RNG, and Chovy once again going to get taken down.
Deft the lone survivor here. Defending this is going to be so frustrating to try to do, and I got to say, RNG once again engaging into Hanwha Life Esports, closing the gap first, but the face breaker is actually what makes it okay this time. And now Deft, it's going to take a lot more than heroics, I think, to defend this base.
Yeah, he needs to kill all the minions. Otherwise, it should be RNG just being able to push on forward. There's 20 seconds on the next member of Hanwha Life Hanwha to actually come up. As Deft goes into the supercharger, but there's the exhaust. Goes down to his GA. I guess it's not quite over just yet, but he's in amongst 4, and that is going to be that. RNG, they pull Hanwha Life apart, they give them a Baron, and then take their Nexus and say, that's a pretty good trade.
And by the end of the game, it is the RNG team fighting that pulls them through above all. Clearly, the call from Hanwha Life in the previous situation to give up that Baron, pull back, and make sure that they don't fight on RNG's call was the right one, because this time they think we can finish it and maybe get out. The resets don't come through. Hanwha Life look disjointed and are unable to do anything with the Baron buff. Baron for Nexus, I'm going to say, not worth.
I will say, too, doing this against a strong...
Hanwha Life look disjointed
And
this
welcome back
time.
to
They
Iceland for
think we
World's
can finish
2021
it.
group stage. RNG are now 3-0
Maybe get out.
in their
The
group.
resets
And
don't
Ning,
come through.
thank you so
Hanwha
much
Life.
for joining me for this interview. There was a lot of back and forth this game. What would you identify as the mistakes that could have cost you the games?
那首先恭喜你们这一轮已经拿下3-0嘛，但是这场比赛其实打得非常有来有回。那你可以跟我们讲一下，这场比赛是出了哪一些问题，导致你们有可能会输掉比赛吗？
就可能自己集中度不够吧，然后因为第一场嘛，自己集中度打得不是特别好，打得不是特别专注，然后就输掉的话，就可能打得这么艰难，就因为失误还是有点多嘛，就操作上面的失误。
I think it mainly came down to our focus because this was in schedule-wise, it was the first game of the day, so we came in just a bit lackadaisical, and we had a lot of executional errors that could have lost us the game.
Yeah, and in the end you were still victorious, but I want to have a quick hit on the draft because you chose to put Lucian top lane, which is not a surprise given that Xiaohu is really known for this champion. Ziggs bot lane, it's the second time we see that champion, but I also want to have your input on set into Leona because it's not something we often see in Western regions.
那这场的话，其实有看到你们上路是选路线嘛，那下路选这个席格斯炸弹魔这样。那主要想问的还是就辅助这个选择，因为赛特打雷欧娜好像在西方的这些赛区不常看到。你对这个打法这个对决看法是什么？
因为我自己玩射题打雷欧娜的话，会打得比较多嘛，然后觉得还算一个蛮不错的选择的嘛。然后吉格斯的话，就可能高打觉得蛮好的，所以就选了，因为觉得对面也可能会选这个 BP。
I actually play a lot of set against the Leona, and my personal thoughts on it, it's actually quite a good matchup. As for the rest of the picks, we thought that the enemy could have a chance to take those picks as well, so we locked them down for ourselves.
And I really like your input because players often have very diverse opinions onto that matchup. Last question for you, Ming. You are coming back as the winners of MSI. You had a difficult difficult beginning of summer, I want to say. You are now 3-0 in your group. What are your thoughts on the development of second round robin and how the group is going to play out?
那你们目前也是拿下3-0了吗？那想看一下往前看的话，你对第二轮有什么样的看法？那认为这个小组最后会是什么样的一个情况？
虽然我们现在3-0嘛，但其实也不是那么轻松的取胜的嘛，都打挺艰难的。然后我觉得第二轮的话可能会比第一轮更难打嘛，因为大家都交手过一次，所以说后面我觉得会更难。然后我觉得就每个人都挺尽力的嘛，所以说后面都真的说不准。
Even though we were 3-0, our games have been very, very hard fought, and I think the second round will be even harder because everyone has already faced each other and know what they could do. And I just think that it's very hard to tell right now, given our situation.
Yeah, opponents know their opponents a bit better now. Well, we'll see how this plays out, but for now, that's the end of the interview. Xie for this interview, Ming. Clement, thank you so much for the translation, and we'll be back in a few minutes with more on this game at the analyst desk.